So bryophytes, even today, bryophytes are there, which we have seen. So the mosses, ferns, the liverworts, all those come under the bryophytes, and they are swampy plants, right? Because they live always in a moist environment. Animals also would have evolved from one particular form, from a unicellular to a multicellular organism. 3 to 4 million years ago, man-like primates, they roamed the regions of Eastern Africa. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to the last session of this chapter, that is evolution. I am Dr. Divya, biology faculty, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore, Temple of Excellence. So in the previous session of this chapter, we had discussed about the mechanism of evolution, and in this we had discussed about Hardy-Weinberg's principle, wherein we learned that the frequencies of alleles in a population is always equal to equilibrium, and only when it goes beyond the equilibrium because of certain factors such as genetic flow or gene flow, gene mutation, genetic drift, natural selection, etc., only then does the equilibrium go beyond its actual state, and therefore leading to speciation and evolution. Therefore, it is said that these are the factors which are responsible for altering or affecting the Hardy-Weinberg's principle of evolution. In today's session, we shall look into exactly how the land plants as well as the terrestrial animals, they got evolved, and also we shall understand how man came into existence, or how the man evolved from a simple primate. So to begin with, we shall study a brief account of evolution. That is exactly, we shall see the evolution tree, wherein how plant forms have evolved during different geological periods. So here the geological periods or the life of earth is divided into different eras, and these eras which were present at certain time of the years. So it is divided into Paleozoic era, the Mesozoic era, and the Cenozoic era. And in these eras, there have been certain set of plants which have evolved, which have perished and given rise to new species of plants. We shall see how did they actually exist. So here we can see chlorophyte ancestors. So chlorophyte ancestors are those plants which had the chlorophyll pigments in them, which were capable of photosynthesizing. Why? Because we know that during the dinosaur era, a lot of volcanic eruptions, all that took place, leading to a lot of carbon dioxide and all other components in the atmosphere to, or all other gases in the atmosphere to increase. And we know that for plants to photosynthesize, they need chlorophyll as well as they need water, which was available during those period as well, and also they need carbon dioxide, wherein they make use of all these and they try to photosynthesize. So therefore, the plants, the other plants that were there, they are said to be originated from the chlorophyte ancestors. So from the chlorophyte ancestors, the tracheophytes, so as you can see, the tracheophytes as well as the bryophytes. So the tracheophytes and the bryophytes have evolved from the chlorophytes. So we can see the bryophytes. So bryophytes, even today, bryophytes are there, which we have seen. So the mosses, ferns, the liverworts, all those come under the bryophytes, and they are swampy plants, right? Because they live always in a moist environment. So they first got evolved from the chlorophyte ancestors. So the plants which bearing chlorophylls, they were the ones which got evolved into bryophytes, and not just that, they evolved themselves into tracheophytes as well. But these tracheophyte plants nowadays, they are not there. They have become extinct. Why they have become extinct? Because those tracheophytes, they have evolved into lycopods, or the lycopodians as we say, that is the arborescent lycopods, From the arborescent lycopods, they evolved into the herbaceous lycopods. So arborescent lycopods are also not there. They have become extinct. So from the herbaceous are evolved into the herbaceous lycopods that we see today. So there are many lycopodium species that we see today in the moist environments. They are still present. So what did we understand? From the chlorophyte ancestors, from the green plants, the bryophytes evolved. Bryophytes are there even today, which we can find in swamp, that is moist areas, and also the tracheophytes also evolved. From the now the tracheophytes are ancestors for lycopod members. So from the tracheophytes, the Rhynia type plants, the Rhynia type plants also evolved, and apart from that, they also evolved into plants such as the Zoosterophyllum. So these Zoosterophyllum plants, they are not there now. From the Zoosterophyllum, arborescent lycopods got evolved, and from the arborescent lycopods, the herbaceous lycopods have evolved, and herbaceous lycopods are still existing today. And next, from these Rhynia type plants got evolved into xylophytons, and also these Rhynia type plants, they directly got evolved into xylophytons. And these xylophytons, from these xylophytons, all the different species of plants got evolved. And as you can see, during the Silurian period of the Paleozoic era, the Zoosterophyllum plants were present only up to the Silurian period. And in the Devonian period, there were only xylophyton plants. So xylophyton plants, they were present up to the Silurian period. In the major part of them were in the Silurian period, and to a certain extent they were present in the Devonian period. But later on they got completely perished. Why? Because from these xylophyton, the other plants got evolved. And talking about arborescent lycopods, they were present in the Permian period, that is Permian period of the Paleozoic era. And it is in the Mesozoic era, that is in the Triassic or the Jurassic era, actually the herbaceous lycopods got evolved. And these herbaceous lycopods, they continued even in the Cretaceous period as well as in the Cenozoic era as well. Next, talking about the xylophytons. So xylophytons, they were present, majority of the xylophytons were present in the Silurian period, and a little bit of it in the Devonian period, and later on they got perished. How did they perish? It is because those xylophytons itself, they got evolved into different forms, such as in the Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era, they remained as Spinopsids. So Spinopsids or horsetails, even today they are present. We can see them, and they continued up to, so these are horsetails. So horsetails, equisitums are also called as horsetails, and equisitums we see today. Equisitums, even horticultural related equisitums are also available for gardening purposes. So therefore equisitums are still there today. And again, these xylophytons, they got evolved from the xylophytons itself. They got evolved into ferns. And ferns, we know still today it is there. That is the pteridophytes. I told you in the previous session, pteridophytes were present even in the Jurassic period as well. But the Spinopsids or horsetails, they actually started in the Mesozoic era, but they were present in the Cretaceous period, and then they are present even today in the Cenozoic era as well. But ferns, they got evolved in the, or xylophytons got evolved into the ferns or pteridophytes in the Jurassic period, and even today they are present. Next is xylophytons. They got evolved from xylophytons. They got evolved into ginkgos. So ginkgos were present in the Cretaceous period, and also ginkgos in some of the regions. We can't say Ginkgo biloba may become an extinct plant in the near future. We can't say, but ginkgos, they still are present today, but minimal in number in the Cenozoic era as well. Next, talking about from xylophytons, the conifers came into existence. That is, conifers, they were present or they got evolved from the xylophytons in the Jurassic period, and even today conifers, that is the pine trees, the cycads, all these are present even today. Next comes the Knitales, that is the Knitum. So Knitum, They can be large trees, they can be large climbers. Nitams are woody climbers are also there in Nitam. Even today they evolved in the Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era, and even today they are present. That is, Nitams are present. And next is the Xylophytons. In the Devonian period of the Paleozoic era, they got evolved as progymnosperms. Then they got evolved as seed ferns, and then they divided into two important forms. That is, one is cycads. So cycles, all the cycadales, cycads and all that, they got evolved. And next, these seed ferns, further they got evolved into another set of plants. That is why cycads, they also bear seeds, right? But they are naked seeds. But these seed ferns, that is angiosperm flowering plants, that is both the monocotyledons and the dicotyledons, they evolved from the seed ferns itself. And the dicots got formed in the Cretaceous period. That is, the Xylophytons, they got evolved into progymnosperms. Those progymnosperms got evolved into seed ferns. Those seed ferns got evolved into the angiosperm family, that is dicotyledons, in the Cretaceous period, and even today it is present. But the angiosperm flowering plants which were monocots, that is angiosperm flowering plants which were monocots, they got evolved somewhere in the Cenozoic era. So very recently they came into existence in the Cenozoic era. That is monocotyledon plants. So this is the evolutionary tree of the land plants, or the plants that are there. And all these plants, the ancestors of all these plants, the main ancestor is the chlorophyte members. So it is from these actually all these higher forms. So maybe they were unicellular, they became multicellular, and they gave rise to higher plants. So this is about the sketch of evolution of plant forms through the different geological periods. So how the plants evolved in different periods of the earth. So we had discussed about the plants. Likewise, we shall discuss about the evolutionary history of different animals in different geological periods. So if we look at the geological period is divided as the Carboniferous period, the Permian, the Triassic, the Jurassic period, then the Cretaceous period, the Tertiary period, and then comes the Quaternary period. So we are living in the Quaternary era. So the present era that is why it is represented as 0 year, because the present era that is there, it is the Quaternary era, or the Quaternary year that we are, geological period that we are living in. So here the Carboniferous period is about 300 to 350 million years ago, whereas 250 million years ago, right from now, 250 million years ago, it is the Permian period, and 200 million years ago, it is the Triassic period. 150 million years ago was the Jurassic period. Whereas 100 years ago, it was the Cretaceous period, and 50 years ago was the Tertiary period, and the present day is the Quaternary period. So we shall see the first form of life, that is the first, how did the other organisms, that is the higher animals, evolve, or especially the reptiles evolve. So the reptiles evolved from the early reptiles which lived somewhere around 350 million years ago, that is in the Carboniferous period. So the early reptiles which are not present now, they have become extinct. They evolved into sauropsids, and from the sauropsids they evolved into the present day turtles that are there. And also talking about these reptiles, a group of these early reptiles which have become extinct, they got evolved into synapsids. These synapsids got evolved into pelycosaurs which are extinct. They are extinct, and these pelycosaurs got evolved into therapsids which are also extinct, and it is from these therapsids which evolved into mammals. So therefore the ancestors of mammals are therapsids. So especially the tigers, they got evolved from therapsids, it is said. So you can see the stripes, the bodily features, the claws, everything resembles almost the therapsids, right? And also a few of these early reptiles, they got evolved into the present day lizards which we see. And some of the reptiles, early reptiles, they got evolved into the thecodonts, and these thecodonts, few of them, got evolved into the dinosaurs, and few of them got evolved into the birds, the present day birds that are there. It is said like that, it is believed. So, and here the dinosaurs got evolved from the thecodons, but dinosaurs did not evolve into anything. Why there was no evolution of the dinosaurs? Because all the dinosaurs got perished during the Jurassic period, right? They got perished. Why did they get perished? It is because that is the Cretaceous period or the Jurassic period. They were there and they got completely perished. They got completely perished. That is why they were not able to evolve into any other organisms. So some of the early reptiles, they again got evolved into the tortoise, and few of them got evolved into the snake. So this is how the evolution took place. Whereas some of the thecodons, they got evolved into the crocodiles. So therefore the ancestors of crocodiles are the thecodons. So this is about the evolutionary history of vertebrates during different geological periods. So therefore all the organisms that are present today, they have a common ancestor. So it is from that common ancestor different organisms have evolved, and from those different organisms the other set of organisms have evolved. So they have all these have a common ancestor. So next, talking about the evolution of man, we shall see how man originated and evolved. So man originated from Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. They lived somewhere 15 million years ago. So Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus, there is a difference. So Dryopithecus, they were hairy and they walked exactly like gorillas and chimpanzees. So as you can see here, they are quite hairy and they walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. Whereas Ramapithecus, they were more man-like. They were more man-like, and whereas Dryopithecus, they were more ape-like. And also the archaeologists, they found the fossils of these Ramapithecus species, wherein they found out like they were just like the bones of mans, and they discovered them in Ethiopia and Tanzania, which are regions of Africa. And these discoveries, actually it revealed that that is between 3 to 4 million years ago, man-like primates, they roamed the regions of Eastern Africa. So therefore, it is believed that it is in Eastern Africa the actual ancestors of man existed. And it is from those organisms or those primates, that is Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus, which were present in the Eastern Africa, they actually evolved into the modern day man. And they were probably not taller than 4 feet but walked upright. So they walked upright like how the modern day man actually walks, but they were not taller than more than 4 feet. That is what they found. So we learnt about now Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. These later on evolved into Australopithecines. So Australopithecines lived around 2 million years ago, and they usually roamed around the East African grasslands, and certain evidences have been found wherein they have shown that these Australopithecines, they use hunting tools made out of stones and all that in order to hunt for animals or fight against the predators. But in spite of them using the stony weapons or stone weapons, their main consumption or their main food habit was the fruits. They started to eat the fruits of trees. Until then, the Ramapithecus, Dryopithecus also were herbivorous. Likewise, the Australopithecines also, though they were using stone equipments or stone weapons and all that for their protection, they completely dependent on the fruit. And some of the bones, so some of the bones among the bones discovered were different. So archaeologists, when they were surveying or when they were finding, they found out that they found certain bones which actually resembled like the modern day man, but they were somewhat different to that of the bones that were found of the Ramapithecus. And these creatures were later on called as the Homo habilis because they actually resemble somewhat like the present day human being. So this creature was said to be the first human like being and just like the hominid, and they were called as the Homo habilis, and the brain capacity of these human being was between 650 to 800 cc, and these beings, they did not, that is Homo habilis, they did not feed on meat, they completely depended on a herbivorous diet. So these Homo habilis later on, they evolved into Homo erectus. So Homo erectus was present somewhere 1.5 million years ago, and we came to know that beings like Homo erectus were there in the year 1891 when few fossils were found by some archaeologists in the Java region. So in the Java region, they found them, and when they were discovered, they came to know that they had a bigger brain size when compared to the Homo habilis, that is about 900 cc, and they were called as the Homo erectus. Homo erectus. Erectus means standing straight. So these were the human-like beings which walked completely straight. So they were called as the Homo erectus, and these probably they ate meat. That is, they started feeding on meat and all that. Next, Homo erectus got evolved into Neanderthal man. So the brain of the Neanderthal man was bigger when compared to that of the Homo erectus, which was about 1400 cc. And they usually lived near the East and the Central Asia. So how did people come to know that they lived near the East and the Central Asia? It is based on the bone findings or the skeletal findings. So in which region more number of bone findings and all that were there, people came to know that they were living in that particular region, especially near East and Central Asia between 1 lakh to 40,000 years back. They were present 1 lakh to 40,000 years back, and these individuals or these, that is Neanderthal mans, they started to cover their body. So they started to use the hides of animals because already the Homo habilis had learned to use the stone weapons and all that, right? So Neanderthal man, they learned to make cloth in the form of animal hide and all that. They started to make them, and then they used these hides in order to protect their body. And also these Neanderthal man, they also learned to bury the dead men. So burial of the dead people, also the other dead Neanderthal men also started in the era of these Neanderthal men. These Neanderthal men later on, they got evolved into the Homo sapiens, and these Homo sapiens, they actually evolved in Africa, and later on they moved to different parts of the continents, and therefore they started developing into different races. How? From a single race. So our ancestor is a Ramapithecus, right? So how from that we got evolved into the present day Homo sapiens we are. So these Homo sapiens, Neanderthals which got evolved into Homo sapiens, they were found in one particular region. They were concentrated in one particular region, that is in Africa, and from there they started moving to different continents. And once they started moving to different continents, they learned different skills, they started to improvise their way of living and all that. And during the Ice Age, that is between 75,000 to 10,000 years ago, the modern Homo sapiens actually came into existence, and their existence was also proved based on the paintings that were found in the caves and the utensils or the stone equipments that they used. All that proved their improvements in their life and all that. And one such is the prehistoric cave art which developed 18,000 years ago. So how did they know that it was 18,000 years ago? Again, based on certain research done by archaeologists. And one such cave paintings of the prehistoric man or humans is seen at Bhimbetka Rock Shelter in Madhya Pradesh, that is Raisen district of Madhya Pradesh. And later on, these Neanderthals who got converted or who got evolved into Homo sapiens, they actually started to learn agriculture, They started to make settlements or families in particular areas. They started to make settlements and all that. So therefore agriculture came around 10,000 years ago, and also human settlements also started, because when agriculture starts, people cannot move from place to place, right? Annually they'll have to grow crop in that particular area, so they'll have to settle in one particular place, therefore giving rise to shelters, and the rest is what we know today, because evolution started, and the present day human beings, what we stand today, that is the present day human beings, and still we are evolving. Maybe we might evolve again into a different form in the coming years, or after even 100 to thousands of years a new human form may evolve. So the present day human beings are what we see nowadays, right? So this is about this particular session wherein we understood how the plants might have evolved from a common ancestor, and how an animal might have evolved from a common ancestor, the evolutionary tree that we studied. And also we understood the origin and the evolution of the humans, that is the present day Homo sapiens that we see. So with this the chapter ends. I hope you understood the session well. We shall meet again in the coming sessions with a new chapter. Thank you.